Hi, I'm Christopher Dunnigan. This is HandmadeInVermont.com, and today we're talking about the Hubbardton Forge outdoor pendant called the Henry Medium. This is the 363008. There's also an indoor version of this. If you're thinking of using this inside, jump over to the 134550. Check that one out and watch the video. This one's really for the outside. It cannot be put like on a pergola where water is going to be pouring onto it. It's got to be under a covered surface, but it's rated for damp. And I'll go over the finishes later in the video too, about how we have these awesome outdoor finishes. Okay, let's get into a lot of details on this. Let's get into the height of the fixture itself, independent of what it's hanging from. 8.7 inches tall, 14.4 inches in diameter, so it's a pretty good size. Overall height, that's the distance from the bottom of the fixture, bottom of the shade, to the actual ceiling itself, and it's going to give you a range. This can be as short as 14.5, which makes it a semi-flush. I think that'd be kind of cool in a lot of different places. As standard product, with the things that you're going to be getting with it automatically, it can be as long as 44.5. If you need this to be longer than that, this actually ships with 70 inches of wire, which means that you only have to order some extra kits and pipes to get down to, let's say, 5 feet. Roughly 60 inches, because you're going to have some wire at the very end to get to the box. If you need to go well beyond that, we do custom, so you just email us and say you're looking at the 363001, you need it to be X long from the ceiling to the bottom of the fixture. We figure it out and send you a quote. So why don't we talk about this whole system of these pipes. So Hubbardton Forge has this wonderful system where you have these screw together pipes, and they're beautifully made. This is a screw machine brass, these are aluminum, and when you look at the sides of them, there's going to be threading on both ends. On the insides of the pipes, on the ends, is also threading. And what you're going to be doing is screwing them together. It's just super simple. You're going to be getting 2 of the 12-inch pieces, 1 of the 6, and 1 of the 3. You're going to use them in different combinations to get to the overall heights that you're going to see on a chart. And the chart is kind of over there on the left-hand side of the screen, but it's also in a different place too. If you're on the page for this on Handmade in Vermont, look over there again. You're going to see a link. It's going to say click here for installations, instructions, PDF. So open that up for me. It is going to show you a full parts list. It's going to show you how everything goes together. It's going to show you that you have a canopy that's going to go on the ceiling that comes in at, how big is that canopy? 4.6 inches in diameter. It's going to go over your 4-inch junction box nicely. Okay, and I think I may not have mentioned that this is not slope ceiling adaptable, because in a slope ceiling adaptable fixture, it has a little knuckle at the top and water could get into that knuckle, so this is not slope ceiling adaptable. These are put together basically simple, and what you're going to do is kind of what it talks about in the installation sheet. You're going to lay your fixture down independent of this stuff. You're going to take the wire that comes out of that fixture and you're going to put it through the little parts one by one. So you're going to put it through a connector, the threaded connector, you're going to put it through a pipe, connector, pipe, and eventually you're going to exit the canopy up on the ceiling, and then you're just going to screw them together. So it's super simple. You just put it in, screw it together like that, take the other pipe, screw it together like this, and once you have it together, it is really, really tight. So let's put this one together too. So you can barely see any kind of seam on this. It's beautifully milled. It's a great way to do this kind of thing. So anyway, like I said before, if you need to go beyond the 44.5, and we know that we can get you to 60 inches overall height, you just need to order some new pipes and additional pipes, and just email me about that and I can quote them out for you. Okay, and why don't we talk about a couple of the things and talk about lamping on this. It's going to be pretty important. It's going to be using a medium base socket. Okay, this is a very simple one we all grew up with. You can go up to a, let's see, what is it? 100 watts if you want to use incandescent. So 100 watt incandescent bulb. Most of you guys aren't. You're going to go for an LED, and I've got a ton of them here to talk about. It's just a really simple screw-in bulb. So we screw it in, just like that. So this is an easy one to get, and I think this looks pretty good in there. This kind of lends itself design-wise to being kind of a post-industrial factory-looking fixture that came out of a Victorian factory, that kind of look. Now, you can still use, a traditional bulb like this. This is an LED. You could even kind of go kind of cool and use I think this is a G25, which is also an LED, and you can do that. And you can do it also the same deal in clear. So there you go. So there's all kinds of bulbs you can do, and I got these at my local hardware store. Some of them came from Home Depot, some came from Ace Hardware in Vermont, which is, in the middle of nowhere. So if I can get them, you can get them. But I got this one online, and I think this one looks the best. This is kind of the copy of those Edison bulbs. They have a little point on them, and this kind of lends itself very well to the design of this fixture. Again, it's an LED that I got. When you're looking at LEDs, you want to make sure you really zero in on the color of the light coming out of them, because these are going to be offered to you in all kinds of different ways. They're going to start off at 2700 Kelvin. That's going to be a super yellow light coming out of this. But they're also going to offer this to you in something called daylight. And daylight sounds like it should be warm. It is not warm. That's that bluish white light like in a hospital waiting room or like on an overcast day. That's going to be 4000, 5000 Kelvin on the Kelvin scale. What we like to use in our showroom is called warm white, and that's 3000 Kelvin. That's the light coming from these guys. It's also the light coming from the LEDs above me. So it's coming from these LEDs. It's this nice warm light. Mimics an incandescent bulb I grew up with. Has a beautiful glow. All those good things. So when you're looking for bulbs, and it doesn't matter where you go, you can get a lot of these at your grocery store at this point. So you want to probably zero in on the color temperature, which is important. And like I said before, 3000 Kelvin is the warm white. And the other thing is, this is a dimmable fixture, so if you want to dim it, make sure you buy a dimmable bulb that says dimmable on there, and tell your installer you're using a dimmable LED so they put the correct dimmer on the wall for you. Hubbardton Forge only uses aircraft-grade aluminum to make their outdoor fixtures. Aluminum holds up the best in incredibly harsh environments. When you're out and you look up in the sky and you see all those jet airliners running around up there, those are all made out of aluminum for a reason. And part of that reason is it holds up great, like I said. It also forges beautifully. It holds finish beautifully. It doesn't rust. Remember that. It's very important. And they're virtually indestructible when they're all finished. So how Hubbardton does it is they take the fixture itself, they're going to wire it up at the top, they're going to put a wire at the bottom, they're going to send a current of electricity that's going to go through this fixture, making it positive, and they put it into a spray booth with a picture of the woman next to me. You can see she's spraying finish around it, and because it's positive, it's going to adhere to every nook, every cranny, the top, the bottom, the whole thing. After that, they're going to take this and they're going to move it into an oven. That oven is going to melt all of that down and create a very hard shell. So it makes it, again, virtually indestructible. So they've also tested these things in these wind chambers. So they take the fixture, all covered in that epoxy powder coat. It's going to go into that chamber. They're going to shoot salty seawater at it at high velocity for hours and hours and hours, just like you were at the beach and you have like a hurricane coming in, which to me is going to be pretty much the worst environment you're going to run into. So after they tested these and found out that they hold up incredibly well, Hubbardton Forge offers basically the best warranty in the lighting industry. And you can see that on the page for this. So if you scroll down a little bit, there's a link, and click on that and it'll show you the entire warranty and how it all works. Okay, showroom. Our showroom in Vermont has over 400 Hubbardton Forge fixtures. This is the biggest showroom in the world of Hubbardton Forge. No other showroom is like this. Hubbardton Forge doesn't even have their own showroom. They use this one. What's on display? We have a great tab on that. And those same red tabs, you're going to see a What's on Display page. So open that up. It's going to show you everything we have on display, and including which finish, which shade, all of those things, and what kind of glass it's on there. We're open every day except Sunday, 11 to 6. I'm here every day except Sunday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We also have an amazing clearance center. Clearance center stuff is 75% off MSRP. It's returns, discontinued stuff, showroom samples. You have to come here to use it. Can't call us or email us about it, but it's definitely worth coming in to look at if you're in Vermont. Plus you want to use the showroom anyway because there's just so much great stuff here to see. Our number in Vermont, 802-446-2400. You can email us 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Love to answer emails, and it's sales@HandmadeInVermont.com. So when you order from HandmadeInVermont.com, shipping is going to be free to every state except Alaska and Hawaii. No tax if we ship out of the state of Vermont. And we're the only dealer with 90-day returns, no restocking fee. Nobody else does that. Some larger items are going to be non-returnable. It's going to be really important that you are looking at the fixture on that page and kind of scroll down under the description. It'll tell you if that is the case. And that's usually for really big, giant, huge fixtures, mostly that go out on pallets. Okay, That's it. Rush program. Let's talk about that. So rush program. Hubbardton Forge generally takes about 3 to 4 weeks to go out the door. That's production time before your transit time. You always have to add that on too. We offer a rush program that takes you from that 3 to 4 weeks down to a little under 2 weeks. It's a very small addition per line item. So if you have like 1, 2, 3 items, like let's say 3 or 4 outdoor sconces, and they're all the same size and they're all the same finish, that's one line item. So it's very inexpensive to rush those kind of things. Don't be afraid to email us and ask about that. Okay, so that's really it. If you guys have any other questions, let us know. We would love to see you in our showroom sometime. And thanks for stopping in.